Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jinnie Cristerna, the High Achievers Therapist, and I am super excited to be here with you guys today. Snuck away for just a little bit before I went into Healing Sanctuary to talk with you about what the difference is between judging something or someone or assessing them, okay, and assessing a situation. They're very, very different circumstances. And the reason that I thought this was so important is because of the political climate that we're living in. One, a lot of the familiar shadows coming back up in our society. And then there's a lot of challenges in different families. People have been emailing me and messaging me and asking me to just to, speak to some of that judgment. And, it's not that judgment is necessarily a bad thing. It's when we misuse it and we're not coming from a place of love and we're unable to see the beauty or the gift in the situation and other people, because we're all human. So when we judge something, we're separating ourselves from another person. We're separating ourselves really from us. So let me just really quickly go over what the difference is between judgment and assessment. Now, judgment is when you're using your emotion. Usually it's a negative emotion or a lower emotion like anger, jealousy, envy, hate, disappointment, things like that. And judgment really is something that's used to criticize. It's not used to be helpful or to grow. It's used in a way where people are kept in that box. You are X, you are Y. So whether it's you are stupid, right? Sometimes that actually often works in reverse. I am dumb. That's a judgment. Okay, so that's an example of a judgment. Now, an assessment could be something that's very, very similar, but it has a very different feel to it. So we're looking at facts, we're looking at things that are very specific, like behaviors, we're looking at statements, we're looking at things that you cannot deny. These are the things that happen, and we're looking at a total sum of a number of parts, okay? So if we were to assess somebody as being depressed, for example, okay, we might say, I notice that this person is sleeping an awful lot and they're still very tired. They're very irritable most of the time, most of the day for, we might say, 2 weeks. We might say, hey, they've lost interest in a lot of the things that they've loved to do. And so now, they've withdrawn. So we're looking at a set of behaviors, of indicators that would lead us to assess that this is depression, even if we don't want it to be. But we're looking at something very concrete, so we know what we're working with. We know what we are trying to remedy, okay? And it doesn't pigeonhole someone into a particular box. And that becomes the biggest indicator for judging and assessment compared to assessment. A judgment attacks an individual's character. It attacks a person. And it puts that person, like I said earlier, in a box in such a way that it makes it impossible, or at the very least very difficult for them to make some changes or to be different. Whereas if you're assessing something, you're being objective. There's not that emotion behind it that's fueling what you conclude. So that person is able to and free to make changes without feeling like they're doomed or they're pigeonholed into a particular position or situation.